You've probably noticed this by now. Some people eat junk at midnight and still wake up lighter the next day. They skip workouts, order whatever they want, and their body still plays along. Then there's the other kind, the ones who do everything right and still get stuck inside a body that refuses to change. I was that second type for most of my life, tracking every bite, exercising, watching other people shrink from thin air while my weight barely moved. And it wasn't just the scale, it was the mental part. Seeing someone live on autopilot while you live on discipline and get the same body as if you had done nothing at all. That's when I realized we are not all playing the same game. Some people are born with bodies that burn calories for sport. Others are born with bodies that treat fat like a life insurance policy. If you're the second kind, the one who works twice as hard for half the progress, this video was made for you. Because there is a real reason why your metabolism feels dead, and it has nothing to do with effort, motivation, or trying harder. People love to pretend the playing field is fair. They tell you consistency pays off as if discipline automatically equals results for everyone. If that were true, the most disciplined people would be the leanest people. But that's not how reality works. Some bodies respond instantly to the smallest change. Others resist until you break mentally first. I watched people who never counted a single calorie lose more weight in 1 month than I lost in a year of doing everything by the book. And the worst part isn't even the slow progress. It's being blamed for it. You get told you're impatient, you're doing something wrong, you're not trying hard enough, when deep down, you know you've been trying harder than anyone you know. That kind of failure hits different when you know it isn't laziness. It's biology refusing to cooperate. There's a reason this feels unfair, because it is. We are not built with the same baseline. Some bodies are engineered to burn through calories the way a fireplace burns through wood, constantly, aggressively, without effort. Those are the people who lose fat by accident. Then there are the bodies like ours, built to store, built to defend, built to treat every calorie like it might be the last one we ever get. That's not mindset. That's wiring. An ectomorph can eat carelessly and still lean out because their body bleeds energy whether they want it or not. A mesomorph can tweak a few habits and their body responds like a switch. But when your biology leans toward fat retention, it doesn't matter if you do the same thing, because the same thing does not land on the same engine. Two people can run the same race with different starting lines and still be told the finish time is their fault. And this is where most people get psychologically destroyed. They compare their results to someone whose body was never playing defense against fat to begin with. And then they blame themselves for not keeping up, when in reality they're dragging a body that resists every inch of progress like dead weight tied to the ankle. That resistance is not in your mind. It is built into your physiology. If you have the type of body that remembers every diet you ever did, every cut, every deficit, every attempt to force change, then the default state of your metabolism is not normal. It is defensive. It is trained to hold fat, not burn it. And once you understand that, a lot of things suddenly make sense. It explains why you can be more disciplined than the people who pass you in results. It explains why your progress stalls even when your behavior is perfect. It explains why your energy collapses instead of increasing like happens with leaner body types. And it explains why the longer you have lived in that heavy body, the worse the resistance gets over time, not better. Because here is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. When you carry extra weight for years, your body doesn't stay neutral. It adapts against you. It becomes better at storing fat and worse at burning it. The machinery inside your body stops behaving like the machinery inside the people you keep comparing yourself to. You are not failing at the game. You are playing a different game with a heavier rulebook. When you live inside a body that was built to gain fat easily, the game is already tilted. But the longer you stay in that state, the more your body commits to it. It doesn't just allow fat, it defends it. Your metabolism shifts into a mode where burning becomes rare and storing becomes automatic. It is not a failure of effort. It is a programmed survival response. Your body looks at weight loss the way a bank looks at unauthorized withdrawals. It locks things down. That is why, after years of being heavy, you don't just lose slowly, you hit walls. You stop losing even when you are doing everything right. Your body has seen this pattern before. It knows diets come and go. It knows starvation attempts leave scars. And it responds by tightening its grip on fat like evidence being sealed in a vault. And this is the part people never understand from the outside. They look at you and think, just keep going. It will pay off. not realizing your body is actively working against the payoff. They think the problem is effort when the truth is biology. Two bodies doing the same thing are not having the same internal reaction. In some bodies, calories come in and get burned. In yours, calories come in and get saved. As if tomorrow is a threat. Your body assumes losing fat is dangerous because every time you tried, it read it as a crisis, not a goal. So by the time you are trying to lose weight, seriously, you are not starting from zero. You are starting from a body that has trained itself to treat fat like an asset worth protecting. And that changes everything. It means you are not just trying to burn fat, you are trying to override a system that was rehearsed for years to prevent exactly that from happening. That is why you can eat clean and still stall. That is why you can be consistent and still get punished with no progress. That is why this doesn't feel fair, because it isn't. Your body believes losing fat is a threat, not a goal. And because it believes that your cells act to protect energy instead of releasing it. They don't work like the cells of someone who burns calories without trying. They act like guards, taking whatever energy you earn and locking it away so you can't use it. That is why you feel drained even when you eat well. That is why your progress stalls even when your behavior is perfect. Your body is not ignoring your effort. It is actively undoing it. And this doesn't happen randomly. It happens because your body has learned that this is the safest way to operate. When you spend years in a heavier body, your system doesn't stay neutral. It trains itself to defend that state. It learns to run on less. It learns to store more. It learns to shut down anything that looks like fat loss. So when you finally decide to change, you're not starting against zero resistance. You're starting against a system that has rehearsed the opposite response for years. That is why you can look at someone else and think, how is it so easy for them and so brutal for me? It's because they are playing with cells that release energy the moment they don't need it. You are playing with cells that refuse to let go of anything. It's not a mindset problem or a lack of discipline. It's not that you want it less than other people. You're dealing with a physiological disadvantage that starts working against you before you even begin. And this is the part most people never understand. Once your body has decided that holding fat is safer than burning it, nothing you do on the outside is enough to force it to cooperate. You can diet harder, you can train harder, you can suffer longer, and your body will simply compensate by conserving more and burning less. It protects fat the same way a safe protects valuables, deliberately, consistently, and without asking what you want. And once you understand that, you stop taking it personally. You stop thinking something is wrong with me and you finally see the truth. Your body is simply doing exactly what it was trained to do, protect fat and ration energy. The problem is that this defense doesn't turn off just because you decided to get healthy. Your cells don't care that you started a diet. They don't care that you're tired of living this way. They don't update their behavior just because you now want different results. That is the part that breaks most people. You do the hard work expecting your body to meet you halfway, and instead it doubles down. It slows your burn rate, it guards every calorie, it stretches plateaus for months as if the goal is to keep you exactly where you are. And when you finally burn through some fat, your body doesn't reward it. It panics and reacts by cutting energy even further, making you feel worse the deeper you go. This is why doing more of the same never works in bodies like ours. You are not pushing against laziness. You are pushing against a defense system. A system that was built first by your genetics and then reinforced by years of living with extra weight. A system that has one mission: conserve, not spend. Hold, not release. Protect, not cooperate. And that changes the entire logic of weight loss for people like us. Because when your body's actively defending fat, you don't just need willpower. You need leverage. You need something that evens the playing field when your biology refuses to. Not a shortcut, not a cheat code, a way to make the body stop fighting every time you try to change it. At some point, you have to admit the obvious. If your body is trained to defend fat, trying to win this by force makes no sense. You can keep dieting harder, training harder, pushing harder, and your body will just push back harder in the opposite direction. That's what people who are never heavy don't understand. They think weight loss is a test of character. It isn't. It's a negotiation with a system that resists you by design. And this is exactly why people who share a biology eventually need more than willpower. Not because we're weaker, but because we are fighting a smarter enemy. When your body is actively protecting fat, you don't earn results by suffering more. You earn results by taking away the body's ability to fight you. People already understand this concept in other areas of health. They just don't admit it here. Take something as simple as a multivitamin. Nobody eats 40 different vegetables a day to cover every gap. We use capsules because it is stupid to make a hard process even harder when there is a simpler, effective alternative. That is not cheating. It is using technology to level the field. The same logic applies to metabolism. If your body has spent years defending fat and rationing energy, there is no honor in doing everything the hardest way possible. You don't get extra points for suffering. You don't get a better body for choosing the primitive route. The only thing you get is slower results and a body that continues treating fat like a protected asset. At some point, you either keep fighting your own biology with bare hands, or you use tools that were literally designed to counter exactly what your body is doing. Tools that speak the same language as your cells instead of trying to overpower them with brute effort. Tools that make the process fair for people who were not born with an advantage. And that's where most people fail, because they try to win using only discipline in a situation where discipline alone is not enough. If your body is defending fat on a cellular level, then the solution has to reach that same level, something that forces the system to stop working against you, not something that just makes you suffer harder while it resists. This is exactly why there are metabolic support supplements, encapsulated compounds made to address the same mechanisms we just talked about: energy defense, fat protection, and cellular resistance. It is a way to level the field so that your effort actually produces results instead of being canceled by your own biology. The same way a multivitamin replaces the need to eat a farm to cover deficiencies. These exist to stop your cells from guarding fat like it's essential. You don't get bonus points for doing this the hardest way possible. Nobody gives you a trophy for suffering longer. The only thing that matters is whether your body responds. If your metabolism is in defense mode, you either keep trying to beat it with willpower or you use what was made to neutralize that defense. If you want to see one of those options, the type that targets exactly what we just talked about, the link is below. Open it and read what it does before dismissing it. If you prefer to keep playing this on hard mode, then don't click anything. At the end of the day, this is not a moral issue. It's a biological one. Your body is not misbehaving. It is doing exactly what it was trained to do after years of defending fat. Some people can rely on effort alone because their bodies are built to cooperate. People like us don't have that luxury. We either use every tool available to neutralize that defense, or we accept that the body will keep running the script it already knows. And yes, you can ignore all of this and go back to watching how to lose belly fat fast videos. People love pretending that you can choose where your body loses fat, as if the body burns on command just because a YouTuber said so. Local fat loss doesn't exist. The body burns where it wants, not where you tell it to. The only reason those videos go viral is because people prefer fantasies over physiology. You don't need to like any of this for it to be true. Biology doesn't care about intention. It only reacts to what forces it to change. If your cells are defending fat right now, they will not stop just because you want them to. So there are only two paths. You keep trying to overpower a system that is built to resist you, or you make the system stop resisting before you try again. The link below shows one of the ways people do that today. A tool built for the exact mechanism we just spent this video talking about. The rest is just a question of whether you keep fighting on hard mode or you decide to even the field.